What's up, everyone? Today, I want to talk about your worst enemy and my worst enemy, and that is fear. Now, what is fear? Fear is the anticipation of something bad that might happen in the future. Fear that you might lose your job, you might be the victim of crime, fear that you might blow your presentation or that important meeting. And I struggle with fear all the time. Fear of failure, fear of embarrassment, fear of letting my family down. I go to sleep with fear. I wake up with fear. It's with me all the time in varying degrees throughout my life. And it's destructive. So I'm going to unpack tactics that I use to live with fear. And I don't say eliminate fear because I don't believe that that's practical or possible, but we can do things to more effectively live with fear and reduce its destructiveness. So fear is a problem for three key reasons. Firstly, it's the cause of a tremendous amount of emotional suffering in the form of anxiety. Secondly, fear robs us of our lives. Our anticipation of the future, positive or negative, robs us of the present moment. Moments with our kids, moments where we need to be present to perform in a conversation or a meeting, moments when we're just walking and want to enjoy beauty outside in our lives. And thirdly, it inhibits our ability to reach our potential, to put 100% of our energy into what's in front of us, the conversation with our children, our coaching of a colleague or a direct report, all these distractions from fear. I mean, we can't even have a great conversation with someone because we fear what the other person thinks of us. We're constantly thinking of what we're going to say next and not wanting to have a break in the conversation and look like, you're not worthy of that conversation. So this is counterproductive behavior, having fear. By succumbing to fear, we actually make it more likely that the thing we fear will come to be in many cases. So why do we have fear? What purpose does it serve us? I think it's really important to understand this if we're going to be able to effectively deal with it. Now, hundreds of thousands of years ago, fear had a really important role. It would trigger when there was a real threat to our lives, like a lion that might want to eat us for dinner or a tribe that might raid our village. This was very helpful to help us survive and reproduce. And most of us no longer have these kinds of threats to our lives if we're lucky, but we still feel fear daily. And when we feel fear, we're often fearing something that won't happen. So you're suffering for nothing. Or if it does happen, the Stoics would say you are suffering twice. Matt Mochary, one of the top CEO coaches in the world, has a saying that fear is giving you bad advice. Now, this is the notion that we make bad decisions when they come from fear. We get angry when we have fear. There's another saying that anger is fear shown publicly, and the people that get the most angry have lots of fear. A great way to think about this is think of a dog that has had an abusive history. They have a lot of fear of being hurt, and those dogs might be the ones that are most angry, right? Most vicious, most scary to us. Now, does fear have any positive purposes? Some would say yes, it helps motivate us, right? Fear of being embarrassed or fear of failure might motivate us to prepare more thoroughly for an exam or a presentation or a meeting or something else important. And so we can't eliminate fear, but we can acknowledge it and find ways to effectively deal with it and even use it to our advantage. So to overcome fear and even use it to my advantage, here's three things that I do. Firstly, I try to stop living in the future and bring myself back to living in the moment because there's no fear in the moment. You can't be afraid in the moment because you're currently bearing it. It's instantly happening to you. And really, you can't fear something that's already happening to you because you're bearing it, you're living it. And so I try to recenter my brain around the moment right now and immerse myself in the moment, what's happening, what I'm feeling right now, something beautiful or interesting that's around me. And I move my brain away from the future or the past. And so this requires an awareness that I'm having fear so that I can recenter. We'll talk about awareness in a moment. Secondly, I make sure that I'm prepared. I prepare for a meeting. I prepare for a presentation. I prepare for an interview. If you put the time in to prepare, you're better able to push aside those fears, knowing that you gave your best effort and you just now let the chips fall where they may. Finally, physical and mental fitness have really helped me. On the physical side, exercise every day, or try to, even if you can only do 10 measly minutes of stretching or sit-ups or running or whatever, do something. The biological effects will keep you confident, which gives you a belief in yourself, which will help you quell fear. On the mental fitness side, I meditate every day. I use an app called Waking Up. There's tons of apps out there. I definitely recommend doing guided meditations and having a coach for anything that you're trying to do. And meditation cultivates an awareness of your thoughts. Many people think that it's like turning off your brain. It's actually the opposite. It's gaining an awareness of thoughts and consciousness and emotions. And that's going to help you to disassociate from these emotions and sort of be like an objective observer watching these emotions. Emotions are not you. They're appearances that happen that you can't control. But if you can identify them and label them, you can have a shot of reducing the negative effects from them, including fear. So remember, fear is your enemy. Fear is giving you bad advice. Don't let it rob you of the moment. Stay present, and we'll see you next time.